Now, Nevada residents are waking up this morning with fewer COVID restrictions in place. The mask mandate there has been dropped, joining a growing list of Democrat-led states that are easing up as cases drop. The governor of Nevada says the decision is effective immediately, regardless of someone's vaccination status. But even as about a dozen states loosen restrictions, the CDC is doubling down on its stance, saying removing mask mandates is a premature move.
But at this time, we continue to recommend masking in areas of high and substantial transmission. That's much of the country right now in public indoor settings. And so we're, of course, taking a close look at this in real time.
And this all comes as new COVID numbers show COVID-related deaths are up nearly 9%, as you can see there on your screen. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Uche Blackstock joins us now for more on this. She's an emergency medicine physician and the CEO of Advancing Health Equity. Doctor, good morning. So these mask mandates, I mean, they can be confusing, especially with so many states dropping them seemingly overnight. How can we make sense of such a swift change in mask guidance, especially when it goes against what the CDC is still saying? Does this mean we're nearing the end of the pandemic stage?
Savannah, I know that's such a good question, and I can understand the public being confused because they're getting, conflicting advice. What the CDC is saying, I fully support right now. 99% of U.S. counties have substantial to high transmission levels, and that's where masks should be worn and recommended in indoor places. And so, I think at this point, and it shouldn't be, but people are going to have to be aware of what's happening locally in their communities, going on their local departments of public health to see what the transmission levels are in their area. And if they're high, I would strongly consider to continue wearing those masks.
And Doctor, now I want to ask you about those numbers I mentioned in my intro and that screen everybody saw that shows that cases are pretty dramatically down. But then we've got this stat now that COVID deaths are rising up almost 9%. I mean, I think we've all been feeling that, things are getting better. But what do you make of those numbers? What does this tell us about our fight against COVID at this moment? How can that be the case that cases are down while deaths are up?
Well, Savannah, I will say those numbers are to be expected. We know that hospitalizations and death are what's called a lagging indicator. They take a few weeks to increase after that increase in cases. And death is what we call a lagging indicator. Sometimes it takes 4 to 6 weeks after a case for deaths to peak. And that's what we're seeing right now. So although cases are going down, deaths are still going up. We're going to see deaths start going back down probably in the next few weeks.
All right, that's a good reminder there, Doctor. And while I've got you, I do want to get a viewer question in. This is from Ashley. She writes, the FDA authorized a third dose of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for immunocompromised individuals. This was not considered a booster, but rather part of their initial series. Should those individuals receive a booster, and if so, when? So it seems to me there, Doctor, like she's asking about a potential fourth shot if you're immunocompromised. What do you say to that?
Actually, great question. And yes, CDC is recommending a fourth dose, and that should be done now 3 months after that last dose. And that's for moderately to severe immunocompromised people who have had organ transplants, people who are on chemotherapy, or people with advanced HIV infection or other immunocompromised individuals.
All right, Dr. Uche Blackstock, thank you so much. Great answer there. And Ashley, you got your direct answer. And if you have a question for one of our doctors like Ashley did, please let us know. They are ready to help you. Email us at morningnewsnow@nbcuni.com with your questions, and let us know if you want to stay anonymous or get a shout out on the show like Ashley.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.